you have a question?
Well, mine was more, how long you spend, gardening, because,
Good
my
thing I'm a
parents,
teacher.
Yeah, my parents were growing up. We had a garden in the back, and they still do today. And they garden a lot, but we've never had a huge harvest of enough. My grandma and my mom always used to can, used to do the pickles and all the bread and butter and all that stuff. But never enough to feed a family of 5. And they did a lot of canning.
It is a form of insanity. But I do spend a lot of time. I have a family of 2, my husband and myself. So I start, potatoes go in May. My mom starts all of the tomatoes and stuff under light stands because she is even more crazy than I am. So she starts those, I think, in about late March to early April, so she gets the seedlings going. So potatoes and onions go out in May, and then classes end, and then beginning in June, it's pretty much a full-time job. Harvest starts middle of July. I keep lobbying to have school start after the first frost, and I'm not getting anywhere with that. So this first couple weeks of school are pretty frantic because I got to teach all day and I got to run home and can tomatoes. But and it gets to be a bit much, and believe me, when the frost comes around, I am ready to give it up. But this time of year, I can't wait. I gotta get my seed catalogs out. As Garrison Keeler says, to go through the seed catalog like a sailor on shore leave. So that's what winter does to you. But it's a lot of work. I'm not going to kid you about that. It's a lot of work. But for me, it's a very spiritual experience. I love doing it. And if you don't love gardening, you should not do it. But if you don't love gardening, what is wrong with you? And of course, there's the issue of not having space too. So I know not everybody's got a big backyard. Yes.
Is there a resource around here for getting berries for like grinding your own flour and that type of thing? Getting wheat berries, or grinding your own flour. Or like
I don't know.
Grind it and then just
That's not something I've done, so I have no information on that. So we're not big wheat growers around here, but I see it occasionally.
barley or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where the closest mill would be.
Do you know of any good books that have like a schedule of when you should be planting different vegetables? Because I know you can plant them at like different times.
Yeah, you do.
Craigslist, there's a group of gardeners that they post on there, and they're like insane. I have a truck driver. No, seriously, this guy, I thought I was kidding when I said, oh, he goes, you have to do this garden. What kind of garden? Raised bed? What kind of mulch? And he started going on, and what do you plant first? You can start planting, that's waiting too long. And he went on and on and on, but him and his friends actually post on Craigslist, a forum, and they talk about, and you can ask them anything, these guys. And I saw his garden, he showed me a 16-inch softball and his tomatoes next to it. It was just amazing. And he goes, oh, that's nothing. He just showed me different vegetables that he had, and he had, actual things sitting next to it to show him comparison that he would normally touch on a daily basis. And, his method was the raised beds. You never step on the sacred ground.
Absolutely not.
And you walk around these beds, and you basically reach in and do all your work, and it was beautiful.
Raised beds are awesome because you really have a lot of control.
And he was in Chicago, not a lot of property.
My strategy is basically to read the seed catalogs. There are some things that are cool season. You can start them early, like potatoes and onions I mentioned. You can go in early May. They can take a little frost if there's a late frost. Lettuce is usually fairly cool season. There's a lot of this information in the catalogs. Other than that, I just pretty much have a planting marathon after the last frost, what's it called? Frost-free dates, which is usually middle of May. And when I have time, I just put the whole garden in and plant them. So, and then with the harvest then starts, green beans come, tomatoes, zucchini comes along. And first, and then we'll get back to Bree.
Well, as part of preparing the soil, I mean, can you get the soil prepared? Let's say you got a new piece of ground. You know, can you get it prepared soon enough for that first harvest? For planting it? I mean, because I know there's the mulch
Well,
and the manure.
yeah,
Is there stuff that you know buy?
I get a load of horse manure from a friend of mine at the beginning of the season, and my husband rode hills and we're done. But,
And that's enough?
It is where I am. So it kind of depends on where you are. If you're in a subdivision, like a recent subdivision, the first thing they do when they put up a subdivision is scrape off all the topsoil, which is why it breaks my heart to see all these subdivisions going into this all wonderful farmland. But then you're going to probably have to do some work with lighting the soil. It depends. Is it gravelly? Is it clay? There's a lot to that I really can't advise you on because it's so specific to soil, and also because I don't know something about it. Okay. Yes.
Real quick, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Restaurants, do you guys have any list of restaurants that have, it's hard to find somewhere to go out to?
That's a good question for Chef Thomas because he's in the culinary world.
Oh, okay.
I'd put a pitch in for Duke O'Brien's or
Duke's Ale House, yeah.
Now in Crystal Lake, they changed their menu and they use mostly all local stuff.
Yeah, it's very. I knew that about Duke's. I don't know what the other ones are, but I think Chef Thomas is working with them. You had another.
I'm sorry. I just want to say too. 1776 is one as well.
Oh, that's right. Sure. Was there another question over here? Yes.
You mentioned starting certain vegetables indoors. I had to grow some herbs indoors. Nice south lighting in the backyard. They all molded and mildew, they all died. Can you tell me what you do? Where do you set up your lights and?
Well, mold almost always means they're too wet. So maybe some overwatering there. We use plant stands which have fluorescent lighting on them, and a lot of times, no matter, windows are just hard, especially in Illinois when it's so cloudy. So, and when it is sunny, then you get the extra heat, which gives you the extra humidity if the soil is really moist, which can lead to the mold. So a lot of times to get light is often a very basic problem, and if the plants are getting tall and spindly, it usually means they don't have enough light. And when we start the seedlings, usually the lights are pretty close. Regular shop lights, we don't get the fancy bulbs or anything, but regular shop lights, they have to be close. So you have to have pretty good indoor lighting to make it work. Although I have a rosemary plant in a window now that's doing fine. Rosemary is pretty hardy. That's a good one to grow indoors. Anything else? We're almost out of time. We have 4 more minutes. Any other questions? Discussions? Comments? Yes?
We did this year, we decided we were going to do some landscaping in the back of our yard, so we had Countryside cut out an area that we were going to put flowers and bushes, and we got it cut out and said, we don't have any money left for flowers and bushes. So we took and along the front, we did lettuce, string beans. We just got $20 worth of seeds and just planted them, and it was great. It was so much fun. We'll do it again next year. We'll put bushes in. But we did, we did the lettuce in the front, just kind of layered it, and the corn in the back.
You're a woman after my own heart. If I can't eat it, I'm not interested.
Well, and it was just, we didn't have a special area.
Yeah.
We just put them wherever, fit in, and it was very pretty too.
Plants are beautiful. Wow. Yeah. The plant side. One other thing I wanted to mention, this came up last time, just in case you are interested in gardening or you're interested in buying huge quantities of stuff. This came up last time about freezing, because freezing is a really easy way to preserve it. You don't have to get all nervous about poisoning yourself with botulism if you can't improperly and buying big equipment. But it's important to remember that freezing does not kill the enzymes that cause ripening. It just slows them way down. So if you're going to freeze stuff, get something like the Blue Book or go to freshpreserving.com. You usually have to blanch it first. So green beans, for example, you have to put them in boiling water for 3 minutes, take them out, put them in ice water to set the color and cool them off. But the boiling will inactivate all of those enzymes, so they will not continue to slowly ripen in your freezer.